Welcome to Wellness Warriors, a podcast addressing the root causes of illness and their natural solutions. And now your hosts of Wellness Warriors, Dr. Justin Lane and Michele Schroeder.
Well, hello, my favorite wellness warriors. How are you guys doing?
Doing excellent, Michael. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, Dr. Lane, and the lovely Michele.
I'm doing fantastic.
And you know what? You're in focus.
Oh, good.
Which is always a good thing to be. So today I know we're going to talk a little bit about lifestyle and healing environment. And Michele, why don't we start with you? Tell us how our lifestyle can affect our ability to heal and stay healthy and things like that. Things like, I guess, like sleep and diet and exercise.
Yeah, I really have a foundational opinion on this. A lot of people will chase something kind of a fad diet or they think that they're going to go take peptides and get better, or they're going to do carnivore diet and they're going to get better, or they're going to do keto and they're going to get better. And what I know and what my experience has been is that there are a lot of elements that need to come together for somebody to actually put their body in a healing environment in order to really get well. And these include things like your relationships and having a calm environment there. It includes proper sleep. When I say relationships, I'm talking about all proper connections. And when I say proper, I mean healthy connections. Being able to get adequate sleep, having good diet and really nutritionally dense food, so that when you're eating a calorie, it counts for something. It's not just an empty calorie. And also just the huge one is the stress management. So when all of those pieces come together, it says to your cells, hey, this is calm. Your cells can get out of a danger response and stop warning other cells that something's going wrong. And that can really pull the body into a really good healing place.
Wow. You know, it kind of goes back to our last podcast when we were talking about acupuncture. And acupuncture, Dr. Lane, helps to do a lot of those things with what Michele was talking about in terms of sleep and digestion and stress management and all that kind of stuff. So I can see how everything works in tandem, and there's no silver bullet. Like, you just don't do one thing and I'm healed. It's like
exactly.
There's no silver bullet.
And as a matter of fact, if you go too far down one path that isn't quite right for you, you can tip the balance and you can cause yourself to go out of balance. I mean, we have people come all the time that they were doing something. I just talked to somebody the other day, doing something for a long time now. The liver markers are not quite good. And they did it for their health, but they didn't have the overall plan in place, and they didn't understand exactly how to help. There are times when certain things are good, like a carnivore diet can be good for someone who's really got digestive issues and they need to do it for temporary time. So I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying right time, right place, and have all the foundational factors in place with it.
Okay.
Because you can do the right thing at the wrong time and not get the result you want.
True enough.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. How am I going to do that? I have enough problems. I can do the right thing at the wrong time. Please expound upon that.
Right. So when we talk about things like, let's use it because we work with autoimmune clients primarily, and so we have an approach for diet and lifestyle nutrition, and that would be perfectly fine. But if you also have a co-infection, let's say you have a SIBO infection, a small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which is a gut infection, and you apply an autoimmune approach to that, well, you're going to have limitations because it's not going to solve the SIBO problem. It might help a little bit with the immune system, but it's going to exacerbate the other infection. So you can do the right thing at the wrong. The right thing would be, they're autoimmune. They should probably follow this type of a eating program. However, they have an active infection, and so you have to kind of adapt to what's going on currently.
So how do I know? Do one of you guys help me out and say, okay, Mike, that's the right thing. This is the wrong time. Do this instead?
Yeah.
That
I mean,
works?
that's what we do. We actually structure personalized, I'll call it a protocol. I really don't like that name because it is personalized, but we actually take a look at what's going on using, I use information that's mostly on a form. He has objective information he uses from testing. He also uses the stuff on a form. And we put all that together and we look and say, what are the priorities? Where do we need to start with this person? And he will define like what further testing needs to be done to make sure we rule out or rule in particular issues like SIBO. And then when I'm working with a client alone, I get a lot of information just off of my assessment forms as well. So it helps us prioritize and know what to do. Speaking of doing the right thing at the wrong time, on a mental or mindset level, you can do that too. And that's really important. So for example, if you decide that you're going to change a behavior, for example, and you create yourself all these nice affirmations that are going to bring you into this new behavior, but you're kind of not in a good state when you try to do the behavior, or you're not in a good state when you try to say the affirmations, then your body will reject it. And it just doesn't work. So it's doing the right thing, wrong timing. Got to get yourself in a really good state of mind before you try to use a hack that'll help your.
And to your point with affirmations, you can say these things, but unless you engage your physiology and you make it into your nervous system, it doesn't really stick. It's sort of like, I feel good, I can feel good, but you're like, that's bull BS.
Yeah.
You got to be in the right state. So that's physiology. You got to activate your physiology while you're doing it.
I like the mindset aspect of this because I'm a big mindset guy. I find in my business and in my personal life as well, that my clients who have a positive mindset, they can do a lot farther in their business. They experience a lot more joy and fulfillment and happiness and health because they're of the mindset to do that, other than some people who will say, oh, that'll never work.
Yeah.
I could never do that. That's for other people, but not for me. It's a losing game. You're done. You know?
And it's interesting about like pessimists or skeptics because they may be right. They may be accurate. Like, well, that isn't practical, but what they find are optimists are more joyful and happy in life, even though they may overestimate. They might be too enthusiastic. They may be overly optimistic to a fault.
Yeah.
But in general, their quality of life is a little bit better because they're in a beautiful state.
In a beautiful state.
Yeah,
and coaching, I actually really try to help people with this. So first coaching appointment out the door, we determine what somebody actually really, really wants. And then we locate how they're going to feel when they have it, what they're going to be experiencing when they have it. And then we locate a time in their life when they felt that way so that they can actually get themselves into that state while they're imagining this healthy place they're going to be. And it actually helps them move forward with more motivation and more ability to do that. And if you can train your nervous system to jump into a better state and then take the next smallest step, your success rate is much higher. Whereas if you just feel kind of like, oh, I got to do this, my doctor says I better do this, or I'm gonna die, or if you've had experiences with doctors that have kind of made you lose faith in being able to get healthy again, and that happens a lot. We deal with a lot of people that come with pretty severe challenges with their health, and they're feeling a little bit down and out, maybe some depression, some anxiety.
Medically traumatized.
They're medically traumatized. So we really, really try to bring them into this really nice state in a coaching session so that they can really go out of there feeling resourceful. And I teach them with a few homework assignments how to keep themselves in a good state before they try to take their next step forward.
That's really interesting. So my takeaway from this is that somebody may think, oh, this is a bunch of hokum, or this is never going to work. It's not going to work for me. They've got this negative mindset. But what you do is you take them to a place in their life where they've had something positive. So now they have a common frame of reference that they can go back to. And it's like, oh, I did that once before.
Yeah, they already have a pathway.
Yeah.
It's called a neural pathway. They already have a neural pathway. So if you imagine you're going into a farmer's field and you can see two paths to take. One of them is well-worn. It goes by the river. There's lots of tractors and trucks that have taken it. It's really well-worn path. Then you see this kind of tiny little path right through there that maybe they took once. So if you just think of your nervous system or your brain like this, you want to learn how to use the pathway that is your resource state and make it a well-worn pathway. If negativity and no optimism has been the pathway you've been choosing for a long time, you might have a tendency to keep choosing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to help you find that not so well-worn pathway and then make a choice to go there more often. And as you do, you're actually sending messages to your cells that they're safe and that they can heal.
Wow. That's pretty incredible, isn't it, Dr.
Yeah.
Lane?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you help Michele along that journey as well?
Well, yeah, I think for us, what's most important, and we always say this all the time, 80% of anything is your mindset. In this case, healing is your focus. And what you focus on, you feel. And so what we want to know with our clients is, what do you want? What is your outcome or outcomes? What is it we're trying to achieve, and why? Why is this important to you?
And how will you be different as a person when you're there?
Right.
That's super important.
Yeah. And so what that really then, and some people don't know, and that's fair. Like, I don't know what I want. Well, start writing down what you don't want. And in that process, you'll usually figure out some things that you want. And then knowing why you want them, you know, for our clients who tend to be older adults, it's, you know, I want to travel more and enjoy my life. I want to be able to bend down and play with my grandchildren and spend time with my family, or I want to be, you know, active again. I want to be out, whatever it is, whatever makes you excited. That's what we want your why to be, because that's going to help you move through the days that, and let's face it, healing is kind of peaks and valleys sometimes. So the more, you know, you're focused on specifics, you know, for example, I want to feel better. Well, here's an apple. Do you feel better? Right? Yeah. As opposed to, I want 50% more energy and I want 80% better sleep. Like, the more specific your brain focuses, the more you get there and the quicker you get there, rather than general.
Yeah.
Specific
and in coaching, it's the question is always, what's that like for you? When you are in that, when that's going on for you, what is that like for you? How does that feel in your body? So that they can really literally understand how to put their body right back there. And I read this book a long time ago called The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. And our cells get messages. If anyone that's listening today has their body talking back to them in a negative way, you will want to consider, what kind of a state do you live in? Are you in a beautiful state, or are you griping, complaining, and feeling like hopeless? And the good news is that it can be changed if it's not where you want it to be. My personal story is that I kind of discovered this when I very first got diagnosed with lupus. I'd been through a lot of stressful situations, and one day I just decided I'm going to take full accountability for what I've done or haven't done that brought me to this place. And I had a little eye-opening experience realizing my cells are talking to me, and they are telling me they don't like what you're saying to them, Michele. They don't, and I wasn't too much of an unhealthy person in terms of my lifestyle, but they could be saying to you out there, I don't like what you're doing to me. I don't like what you're putting in my body. I don't like how you're not prioritizing sleep. I don't like how you're not doing what my cells like. So if your body's talking to you in a negative way, you can think of it like you need to put something, give your cells some information, mentally, physically, spiritually, that will allow them to respond in a different way to you.
Wow, that's a great way to put it. That's a really good concept. Yeah. And I really liked the point that you made earlier. I'm going to borrow that and stick it in this side of my brain as a gym. When you said, if you don't know what you want, write down the things that you don't want, and that would help you discover the things that you do want. I thought that was pure genius.
Yeah.
It is
hot today. Yeah,
well,
that's
so.
that
And the
great.
other thing I would say, Michele, is a lot of people get stuck. You know, and our mentors say this: the tyranny of how. Yeah. People start with how first, and that's a recipe for disaster, because people who haven't worked, on their health before, they don't know what to do or maybe what order to do it in or how to do it. And so people tend to get overwhelmed. They'll overwhelm themselves and then not do anything. So when we start working with people, forget about how. Forget about that. We're going to help you with that. Forget about that. Focus on what you want and why.
Okay.
And that has more power than anything. The how is, we can help you with. The how becomes easy when you know what you want and why you want it.
Yeah.
And so we just encourage people to get very clear about what they want as much as possible.
I think that's great information. So I have a question about environment. So will my environment affect the way that I feel in terms of like a lifestyle thing? So let's say that I have all of these bad things happening to me. I've got autoimmune disease. I've got bad skin. I can't digest my food. I can't sleep. But I happen to be living in a van down by the river. Is my environment going to have an impact upon what's happening to me?
Oh, for sure. We know 90% of your genes express through your environment. The food you eat, the people you associate with, the living conditions, all those things activate genes on and off. That's most of our genes. So certainly if you're in an environment that's not supportive, that's certainly going to affect you. I'll speak for myself. I love it when I have clients come in with their spouses who are supportive of what they're trying to do, because they heal quicker. They heal better and quicker, and they get it. And the opposite can also be true. Some folks have spouses who are antagonistic. Why are you doing that? Why I have to eat this way? Why are you eating, question. And that's stressful. I mean, it's just geez, I'm trying to do something here and you're kind of seagull management here.
And that's stress signals on the cells. And
Right.
so I always try to emphasize that the key factor that you want to do is you want to put your body in a healing place.
Mm-hmm.
That would be your body, your mind, your soul, and everybody's a little different. What is a healing place for them? But when they can become aware of increasing a healing environment, whether that even just means getting outside in nature once a day and just touching the trees. I mean, it can be very simple. This is not that difficult to bring your body into a healing place. Mm-hmm. So I'm always giving clients ways to do that, to reduce stress, get them out of fight or flight. Relationship issues can be and should be worked on. If there are unhealthy environments created because of the people you live with, it's very important to address it, whether you go to a therapist, counseling, whatever, or make decisions that need to be made. Sometimes they're hard decisions when it comes to your health.
So what are some steps I can take right now to set me up for success? What can I do right now? Like this guy wants to know. What can he do right now?
I would say, first of all, just consider what messages are being sent to your cells, whether that's food, whether that's toxins in the form of relationship toxins or other types of external toxins. Just first of all, just sit down and consider, what am I being exposed to that my cells don't like? And then just take small, tiny steps. And honestly, I really believe in next smallest step. Otherwise, you'll get completely overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. So if you just sit down and consider that, and then you just look at the ones that you actually have control over, because you might not have control over all of them all at once, then just think about what you do have control over, and then just start there. Start there. Maybe it's, I'm just going to eat more organic vegetables this week. Maybe, and that's, telling my cells that I've got something healthy coming in.
I like that.
Yeah, food is information.
It's information.
I like that.
Maybe it's I'm going to smile more. Or on my lunch break today, I'm going to go outside and I'm just going to walk around and I'm just going to notice kind of the irregularity in nature. I'm just going to be so aware and mindful of what's going on that I'm going to notice the rocks, the sand, the textures, the trees, the leaves. I'm going to just pay attention to that. And as you start to be one with nature, as you pay attention to these things, your body can come back into a healing place. So it's little things like that. And getting into a routine over time. Like, you don't need to conquer a huge routine tomorrow, but you want to start putting things in place, one little thing at a time. that will help you build a routine around creating a very healthy environment for yourself.
I love it. Dr. Lane, anything to add before we head on down the road?
I think that summarized. I would just say you do end up becoming who you hang out with. The 5 most people you hang out with, you tend to bring on their beliefs and their values. So choose your friend, choose your circle wisely.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
I like that. So great information today. So Dr. Lane, how can we get a hold of you? We have questions.
Just check out our website. It should have a link below. It's elementalnaturalmedicine.com. That's a good starting point.
Okay. And Michele?
Yeah, my website's kmichelleschroeder.com, 1 L in Michelle. And there's a place where you can book a free session with me just to talk over what's going on with you and how you might be able to go where a jumping off point is.
Sounds great. Hey, we'll see you guys again next time with another exciting adventure with the Wellness Warriors. Take care, guys.
You as well.
This has been Wellness Warriors, giving people the knowledge to have a healthy and vibrant life. For more information, elementalnaturalmedicine.com and kmichelleschroeder.com. We invite you to join us next time for another edition of Wellness Warriors.